Yeah. Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Mike and Amy here. Hello, Ames.
What up?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I come with news and information.
Ooh, what kind of news?
Well, startling.
Oh no.
About our trip to Dallas. It involves that. And
all I know is I'm getting my hair and makeup done on Wednesday, so that really I have no other further information that I need to hear.
It's so funny. I was passing along like the most basic. I'm like, 11 o'clock, we've got the museum tour, and then you've got hair and makeup at 2:30. And you're like, hair and makeup? What? Like, of course she gives a shit. Like, I go in there, they're like, hair and makeup. I'm like, I got to run to my room real quick. I'll be back. I'm like, oh, sorry, I missed it again. Shit. I missed hair and makeup.
I was like, hell yeah, I can do hair and makeup.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I've gone in there with Dave, and the girl doing it is cool. And
I didn't know that you got all painted up.
No, I didn't. No, I avoided it. I went in just like this. Was like, good enough. I don't care. So, but they're, they do. But Dave Landau, his uncle died.
Oh, no.
And so, yes, I was with him this weekend. He was in town. And so Matt McClowry, comedian, is filling in. And Dave's like, do you and Amy want to cancel and not and reschedule for? And I was like, well, no. I mean, that sucks. He's done this to me before, by the way, on Anthony Cumia's show. He's like, I'm not going to be there. You and Aunt got it. I was like, cool. Which was great. It was even better without him because then I got to talk more.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm like, well, Amy and I really want to do a show with you too. And he's like, yeah, why don't we schedule one for a couple of weeks or whatever? And I was like, oh, yeah, we could probably do that too. So I don't know, Matt. He's very funny. He's got
I'll be the judge of if he's funny or not.
Yeah, he is. He's got a little Big E in him. Oh. But Angela will be there. Quarter Black will be there. Yeah, I think he's got Asperger's or something.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So you and I are going to go to dinner with Matt tomorrow. He's doing the show. He's flying in from Detroit to cover for Dave.
Wow.
And so he's flying in like first thing tomorrow morning and then doing the show. And I'm like, if Amy and I are probably going to do dinner or something. Why don't we meet you over at the studio or whatever? And he's like, yeah. So anyways, it's a little jarring. But I picked up his book.
Oh yes, you did.
It's fucking, I'm a chapter in. It's really good. He's a really good writer. I had no idea. I figured he was kind of a retard like me. And, but it's I could tell this is going to be really good. And I want to kind of do the preeminent interview with him about it all at some point. There you go. What are you plugging in there?
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah. I was wondering, did you snap it in?
Does it make a difference? I don't think it was snapped in all the way.
I don't think, I didn't know how you were talking to me without that plugged in, but I was like, all right, she's got some fucking system.
I don't know.
So I can't see your setup, but this is good because I'm tired of getting these.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Cult leader. What the fuck is going on with Amy's sound? I listen to you guys every day at work through headphones. And on Psalm 1975, her levels were so high, I believe I now have a brain aneurysm. I know you've had a few complaints about it, but I suggest you put off the Legos and lost episodes to download an episode, pop on some headphones and see for yourself. Your levels are great. Even the E-Tard was good. She went all Spinal Tap. P.S. Where's Raj? P.S. Where's 3G? They're trying to obtain my goat, is what they're doing.
Yes,
they're goat seeking, and stay out of my kitchen. Out of my kitchen. And where's 3G? Fuck 3G. He asked me the other day. He's like, "Oh, I guess you just decided to go with a hot chick and fuck me." And I was like, "Dude, the last 3 fucking times I've asked you to come on, you've just gone AWOL. You're balls deep in some man somewhere, and I don't hear from you all day." So I told him, I don't want to hear it from you, pal. You have an open invite anytime you want, but he was kind of acting snarky jealousy, like, sure, you want the blonde and not me. I'm like, dude, you're always welcome here. You know that. So not this week because we won't be here, but
We will not.
Next week, hopefully we'll get 3G on, unless he's terribly busy and goes AWOL again. But so yeah, Chris, don't take it up with me. Take it up with her. And look at it. You got a cool looking cord too.
Yeah. Although I can't hear myself, so I feel like my microphone's not working.
Yeah, this is where people like Trav, come in super handy.
Yeah.
Super handy. Like you're like, oh, new boxes. Let me just rip everything open and plug and play. Doesn't quite work like that.
It doesn't
So
though.
do you?
Well, you know what? I was trying, Mike, and then you were rushing me and texting me and being all judgy that I was taking a long time.
Look,
blame Mike.
You bitches are so high maintenance all the time. I figured you had this gear Thursday, and at some point this weekend, Trav would have come over, taken the 30 seconds to go, you're good. But no, that didn't happen. So you're going to do it. And you were, yeah, clearly. So you were like, let's go later.
Buttons?
The dumbest.
What do these buttons do?
Yeah, what do these ones do?
What does this button do?
Yeah, that's not a question you want to be asking ever when you're dealing with technical equipment. Ever. You never want to. Like, what happens if you turn your gain up? Are you getting a red and a green button? I'm assuming you got the volt. It's the one channel volt.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what happens if you turn your gain up and you talk?
What's supposed to happen?
It's supposed to get a lot louder.
Oh, like how loud is the gain supposed to be up?
All right, let's see here. Let's see. Hold on. So if I'm talking into mine and I start doing that with my gain, see what I did there? Yeah. And so I'm looking at levels. You want to be green and maybe 1 bar of yellow.
Okay.
We totally should have done this as a member show. I thought about it and I was like, maybe we just do a member show, but this is great for the audience. They're probably loving this. We figured this out. So you might not at all be using your setup. It sounds fine to me, but Chris is super anal about this stuff for some reason.
You know what, Chris?
I know. Take it up with Chris.
It's going to be super quiet today, so you're welcome, Chris.
Yeah.
I can hear myself a little bit better now.
I think you're just muting yourself and you're not hearing shit is what I think is going on there. I think all you're doing is muting yourself. And
well, to be fair, I didn't have some of these buttons pushed. They were off.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
I didn't realize they were actual buttons. I thought that they were just like lights.
No, they actually do stuff. This is hilarious. No, they all have very, very specific purposes. But when I saw this unplugged, I was like, okay, this is new. I forgot
I had unplugged that.
I don't know where else you would go because, you were not. I don't think you're using that mic right now.
No, but I think I am now. I can hear myself now.
No, I really don't think you are. I think you're going through the
because I can see the lights.
Do you see down here the microphone and the camera and all that?
Yeah.
So go to your microphone. What does it say? So when you do hit the arrow.
Which one am I supposed to pick?
Which one does it? Which one is currently checked? No, none of those are working at all. Yeah, none of those are working at all. Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, there. Oh, there she was. What does it say? Does it say volt something? Yeah. Does it say, like I've got the Logitech Brio, which is like like if I was using the mic from the camera or something, or voice meter, or like is it picking up off the laptop? Or is it going through your process, which is probably labeled as microphone volt something or other, if it's properly hooked up? Nothing. No, not a dang thing.
I don't know, Mike.
There you go. Now you might be on.
This is through my camera, I feel like.
Yeah, me too. This really requires some intervention by a semi-pro, at least. Minimum a semi-pro. What? Nothing now.
Okay.
Now
now.
There you are. Just stay on that. We're good. We'll get through because, let me get rid of this. The important thing is you have all the devices there.
I'm going to figure it out on my own.
Probably not, and probably not a great idea to try and just start mashing buttons. I have a feeling you're still running through your camera, but all the equipment's there, and that's good. Yeah, you had the most retarded idea I've ever heard, which was, let's go later. I want to watch the first half of the game, which is the dumbest suggestion I've ever heard in my life.
Why?
Because then the game's good and you're into it, and it's like, oh yeah, let's pause everything and go do a talk show for a little while. Like that's
or the game's not good.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
And then by the time we're done, I go down there and I'm like, this game's not even fucking worth watching. Cool.
Yeah. But dude, basketball more than any sport, it can be 30. You could have a 20-point lead at halftime. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
There's going to be a run the other way. It doesn't matter. All you're doing right now is giving yourself fast forward time.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so I made a deal. She's a chick, so I have to make concessions. I'm like, let's just do an hour. We'll start early. I wasn't anticipating retardedness with her microphone set up. So this plan would have worked at 4:30 or, 7:30. But here we are. So we were planning on doing a little bit shorter show today because I don't know what time your flight is tomorrow, but I got to get up at like 6 a.m. So
what?
Yeah.
6 a.m?
Yeah. To get through my bathroom routine and, and stuff, I need to give myself at least 4 hours of prep. So, no, but I'll probably get up at 7, give myself an hour, leave here by 8, which is not a big deal, but it's going to be, and I still got to pack.
Yeah. So, I have to pack too, but I took the day off. So,
I would hope so. Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, like I have a flexible schedule,
Yeah.
Like I can work.
Are you going to be working from there?
No.
You did something. What are you clicking and pushing now? I swear to God. God grant me the serenity. Is that what they say? Is that the thing you're supposed to say?
Simmer down, Roops.
Well,
yeah, I know. I'm taking those days off, so I'm not going to be working.
Okay, smart. Yeah. Anyways, we'll get this squared away. My guess is by the next show, if Travis isn't overseas, like playing hero or something,
like later, not right now. But
I was gonna say, well, we probably could, but
no, not like right now. I'll just call him later.
Yeah, it's fine. Chris will suffer through this show. And then we'll be.
What? Beggars can't be choosers, Chris.
Yeah. Chris has been here for a long time. He expects perfection. I don't blame him. Yeah. So, anyways,
away, Chris. Whoa, Mike.
What?
I can hear myself.
You can?
Yeah.
You started plugging and playing, pushing buttons, and now you fixed it.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Go like this. No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. Listen.
Hear how loud mine is?
I can literally. I
go like this.
How you doing, bitch? Shit.
How you doing, bitch?
Yeah, totally muffled. You're not on that.
You're an asshole. Yes, I am.
Why am I an asshole? Because you are fucking broken. What did I do?
I'm not broken anymore. I'm good. 15 minutes in.
No,
I'm not gonna. Nope.
Go ahead. Okay, because you're right. Obviously, you're right.
No, I can hear myself now.
Mm-hmm.
I can literally hear myself through this microphone. Like this microphone is working.
It's like arguing with a woman. It's almost like arguing with a woman. It's pointless. Why do we even fucking bother?
I sound so good now.
You're going to be blown away when you actually get that thing hooked up and how much better it is when you throw an SM7B through a Volt and a cloud lifter. And
literally, Mike, It's literally, I have that right now. That's
All
what
right,
I'm
so you
using.
can
I've
so you
got the
gain
cloud
up, you can
filter.
get it, you can blow it out and do it like
I
that.
can blow it up. I can blow it up. See,
Yeah,
Chris,
nothing.
turn it down. Chris, turn it down. Turn it down.
No difference. None. Zero.
You're a dick.
Hey, all right, we'll just move forward. You're just using your laptop cam and
No, I'm
microphone. It's no
not.
big deal. It's no big deal.
I kind of hate you right now.
I know, that's okay. You're gonna hate me way more as time goes on. Don't worry. Everyone does. So we'll do the plan was just to do a shorter show. I probably should have just done members area today, but that's okay. We'll let everyone hang with us. I wanted to do some reads for the week. So hey, this part of the show is brought to you by your insurance expert. Are you paying too much for health insurance? Are you uninsured? Health insurance can be confusing. Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert is an expert in health insurance, life insurance, and Medicare supplements so that you don't have to be. Call Nick today at 248-914-1173. And also, let's see, got a new read from 40. Deer Lake Athletic Club in Clarkston has a full gym, fitness classes, 3 pools, swim lessons, tennis, pickleball, and more. They offer summer memberships and kids' day camp too. Get those kids, get them out of your house, ship them off to camp. The Backcourt Restaurant inside DLAC is open to the public with weekly dinner specials, kids' meals for $5 on Thursdays, live entertainment on the weekend. Make your reservation now for their Mother's Day buffet in the Deer Lake Banquet Center. Visit their website, deerlakeathletic.com, DEER, for more info about the club, restaurant, and banquet center. You see, we lost a pope today.
I saw that, Mike.
Yeah. He's the
Did he
pope.
actually die though?
Yeah, I think so. Sounds pretty serious what he had, but 80, you're on, you're on house money anyways.
Yeah.
So, are people bummed when popes die?
I don't
Or is
know.
it
Do they have to
exciting
do that-
because there's a new
do they have
pape
to-
coming in?
Yeah, do they have to do that thing that they did in the Da Vinci Code? Where they
The smoke?
go in, with the smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Have
every
they
day.
done that yet?
No, isn't that when they announce a new pope? I think is when the smoke comes in, the smoke monster from Lost. And so
don't they need a new pope?
yeah, but they gotta find one.
Well,
They gotta
isn't that what that process is for?
Yeah, but then it's like black smoke. It's like, did they have the baby? And it's like, no, black smoke. No, we didn't.
So when do they start that process?
I don't know if it's like they give it a minute or if they are like, oh my God, we got to hire someone by Thursday. I don't know how that works, but I think it's white smoke is what you're looking for when it's like, yay, we got a new pope.
Okay.
But Frank just,
smoke?
I think it is. I think it's the black smoke monster from Lost versus white smoke, if I'm not mistaken, because it was only a handful of years ago that we got Frank in office.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is fairly new, I feel like.
Jay and I announced him to the world. The world had no idea. Yeah. It was sometime a few years back, but he died of cerebral stroke, followed by a coma, and then an irreversible cardiocirculatory collapse.
That just sounds like his body shut down.
Yeah. God was like, you're coming home now. And just like, no fight, no nothing. Official certification per the Holy See Press Office that I hereby declare the causes of death to the best of my knowledge and judgment are as stated. Time of death, 7:35 a.m. Today on Monday. Causes of death listed as stroke leading to a coma and eventually irreversible cardiocirculatory collapse. The Pope had a previous episode of acute respiratory failure in the context of bilateral multimicrobial pneumonia, suffered from multiple bronchiectasis. Who hasn't been there?
Yikes.
He had some hypertension, had a touch of the beaties as well before his death.
I just feel like if we're going to have a pope, shouldn't he be generally in good health? Like, do we want a pope that has the beaties?
Well,
the beatus?
Yeah, but isn't the Pope usually like an old dude anyways? I feel like John Paul.
What about like an old dude that is like generally fit?
I don't think you're allowed to discriminate. I don't think you could be like, oh, that's ageism and stuff. I
Well,
don't know, but
yeah, I mean, it's just more so like, do you take care of yourself type of thing. Do you have to be like 70?
probably. But I don't know. I don't remember what the rules are. I've gone through this before. I just don't recall. All I know about him is he's the woke pope. And I believe Pope Frank here, I think it was shocking to me because I always think of these holy guys. What? What did you just discover?
Mike,
What?
we need to change the trajectory of the popes.
Why?
To become a pope, a candidate must be baptized Catholic, male, at least 35 years old.
So you could get a young pope. Yeah.
Yeah. What are we doing electing these like 90-year-old popes when you can get someone that's 35?
But are there term limits? There's no term limits, right? These are lifetime appointments.
I think so.
And maybe if they lose all mental faculty, they're not allowed to be popes anymore. But Pope Frank had an interesting background. I remember doing stories about him. I think he was like a bouncer at a bar when he was younger.
Yeah, like I think I remember that.
Yeah, like in a leather jacket, kicking ass, tossing drunks out of the place when he was young.
Do you want to know what the conclave process is, Mike?
Barely, but sure.
So all the cardinals get together in the Sistine Chapel. They vote by secret ballot until a candidate receives 2/3 majority. If no candidate reaches the threshold, the ballots are burned, creating black smoke. When a candidate is elected, the ballots are burned, creating white smoke, signaling the new pope to the world. Man, what if like the biggie of the cardinals messed it up and they were supposed to announce like it's white smoke, but they send up black smoke or vice versa.
Yeah.
They send up white smoke for somebody that not everyone voted on, and now he's just the pope.
Yeah, Pope Steve comes rolling in. It's like, hey, what's going on, guys? It's like, why did they settle on Pope Steve? And behind the Vatican scenes, it's like, yeah, Papal Isis fucking lit the wrong match, and now we got Pope Steve for an eternity. Holy shit.
He's 35.
He's 35. He's on the spectrum. This is a disaster. Yeah, this Pope, though, is there more to the process?
No, that's it.
Yeah, I knew it was the black smoke monster from Lost and then the white smoke.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of the two, and white smoke was, so it's kind of like the pink and blue for gender reveal parties.
Yeah.
Kind of along those, I think that's where they got it from.
I think so too.
In the papal. But anyways.
That's probably where gender reveals came from.
Probably.
Works for the Pope.
Yeah, good enough for the Pope. You know, he sticks in the black and white zone. We'll go pink and blue.
Yeah.
But this guy was known. He was ruffling some feathers. He was the woke Pope.
Yeah.
And so in 2015, so what does that mean? In 2015, he put an emphasis on climate change as a moral issue, urging global action to protect the planet. I just feel like God'd be like, dude, I got this. Relax. Quit.
That's just it. I mean, how can you be the Pope and not believe that God's got this?
Yeah.
That you need science to intervene.
Yeah. You need Dr. Fauci's intervention, or you need AOC telling you what to do. Like, no.
Yeah.
He also was all about social inclusion. He's called for greater acceptance of marginalized group, including migrants, refugees, the poor, emphasizing compassion over strict doctrinal boundaries. Yeah, that one I remember having an issue with. And this came up a lot during the migrant crisis in Germany and throughout Europe, where they're just like, yeah, take 1 million of these fuckers from the Middle East. Good luck.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of people, like, it's not going as swimmingly as they'd want you to think. In fact, it's a disaster in most examples.
Right.
If you're being generous about it, it's a shit show is what it is. And he's like, oh, you got to take in everyone and stuff. And people immediately pointed out to like, hey, dude, you got a fucking giant wall around your own city. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You've made the Vatican. The Vatican is the most secure place on earth. So you want to take in 1 million assholes? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's see how that works out.
Right.
LGBTQ plus blah, blah, blah outreach. He's made gestures towards inclusivity, such as supporting civil unions for same-sex couples in 2020, allowing blessings for the gays under specific conditions in 23, stuff like that. I just feel like, what are you doing?
I'm just playing. I'm
Oh, look,
I'm
a
just-
bird.
I'm listening. I can multitask.
I know, but I can't. And I see you out here playing fucking pickup sticks.
Okay, sorry. I'll do better, Mike.
Yeah, that's purely for looks anyways. It's not in any way. No, I figured like today the Pope is like at what time did they say? 7:26 or 7:36 this morning?
Yeah,
He
wasn't
went
it like
home.
5 minutes after he met with JD Vance?
Something like that. Yeah, I heard there was a JD Vance connection. I heard all the libs like Vance had something to
Is that
do
what
with
they
it.
were
I was
doing?
like, yeah. They're like, JD Vance. I'm like, I'm not even going to read this. I don't know what this is. So, but yeah, I feel like he like took the elevator, escalator, however you get up to heaven, and God was like waiting at the door for him. Like,
Yeah. Like,
so
we need to talk.
yeah,
We need to talk.
have a seat. Have a seat,
Yeah.
Frank. How we been?
Yeah.
How we been? Thought I was
Yeah.
pretty clear on some things.
Yeah, thought so.
Yeah.
Where were we unclear? Where were we unclear?
Were you in Pope school? Were you taking a nap during like Leviticus 18:22 or something? Because I thought I was pretty clear in that. If you don't remember, Frank, have a seat. Do not have sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman. That is detestable, was my exact quote.
He sits him down and he's like, it's story time. We're reading the Bible.
Yeah. Frank's like, but no,
there's a lot of pressure down there. There's a lot of pressure down there, God.
Yeah. Like women are speaking all their time and everyone's in my face and they're all like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I was pretty clear in Leviticus 20:13. If a man has sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman, both of them have done what is detestable. They are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their own hands or on their own heads. Frank, are you familiar with the word detestable? I've used it twice in Leviticus.
Yeah.
Frank, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yeah. I feel like Frank maybe got left in purgatory for a few minutes.
Yeah, probably.
As punishment. He might still be there.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm if God was like, seems like you went a bit rogue there towards the end, Frank.
All these other popes didn't have any issues.
Yeah. Yeah, leave John Paul the 16th out of this. We'll get to him later. You'll meet him later. But why don't you hang out and time out for a little while, Dick? I don't know what you were doing with the whole civil unions and blessings. Like, I was pretty fucking clear. Talked about it in Romans, Corinthians, talked about it in 1 Timothy. Kind of all pointing in the same direction. I find it gross. I'll be honest with you, Frank. I find it gross. You know, it's kind of hilarious. Guys want to put their thing in other guys. But I called it detestable, and I meant it.
Yeah. You know, Mike, I have a semi-grievance.
You do?
Related to the church, because I went to church on Saturday for Easter, and I went to Northridge. And generally Northridge is like their church is, it's fine.
So where
it's
is that?
non-denominational.
Like, what city are we in? Canton Plymouth? Okay.
So, you know, we go with Rocky's family. Kelly's there with her family. We're at church. First Pistons playoff game in like 20 years, and I'm sitting at church. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the pastor guy comes out and he's like, we're going to do something a little bit different this Easter. We're going to watch a movie that we created here at Northridge. And so for the next like half hour, we proceeded to watch a movie at church. And I was like, I could have live streamed this from my house and been
they probably They
Equally
probably
fine.
do that now.
Oh no,
You
they do
probably
100%.
could.
No,
Yeah.
that church streams online. So I'm like, I literally got my ass out of my house, got all dressed up. Not that I got dressed up, but put makeup on.
Yeah.
And I'm watching a fucking movie.
Dude, that's crazy. I would kind of welcome that.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah.
But
I
you
don't
strike
mind
me,
it.
you strike me as someone who enjoys like throwing on your Easter best or your Sunday best. I bet you wore a hat.
I actually didn't.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's kind of like a chill church. I wore jeans.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
See,
like a laid back church.
yeah, I would recommend going to the black church where they get
Oh
all
yeah,
up for
those are
Easter,
blast.
like next level where you got the live
Yeah.
band and everything. Like those are
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I find out that Northridge is producing and making their own movie, and it's called The Soldier, and because they feel like there needs to be more movies out there like that, and you'll recognize this guy. They got this guy to be
Kirk
in
Cameron?
this movie. No, close.
Yeah,
Hang on.
the church is really fallen short. I remember talking to Mike Lindell about you're an asshole. I remember talking to Mike Lindell about this, about how bad it's like, how come you guys can't get a killer rock and roll band like Stripers as good as they did,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
80s? Striper kind of rocked, but other than that, oh yeah, I've seen that dude.
This guy.
He was in, what did I see him in recently?
He's in Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Great role in Yellowstone.
Yeah, yeah. But so the one that we watched at church was
Neil McDonough.
It was just like this preview of it. But then so we watched like 30 minutes of it, but then they're making it into this like major motion picture and this guy's starring in it. So then he made a video, like a cameo basically, to Northridge Church. And then that was that. It was the movie, this guy's cameo, and then we were done. I was like, I cannot believe this is what church was.
Why are you so wee? What did you do? Oh, you put yourself in a weird box.
I didn't do that.
So did you fall asleep during, how long was it? You said a half hour film?
Yeah, it was like a half hour.
They've got to, the church has to get past like the G rating, like everything's acceptable. I think they're cool with the violent stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
do they have to be? I mean, Jesus's death was pretty violent.
Grim. Yeah.
Really
yeah,
bad.
Brutal. I mean, the whole crown of thorns is grim.
Yeah. The nailing to the cross is, ugh,
yeah, all of it. But if they
do you ever wonder, and oh man, I feel like I'm really opening a can of worms.
Probably are.
Never mind.
What were you going to say?
I was just, if the facts that we read in the Bible, for example, the Virgin Mary, if the Virgin Mary were to happen today in 2025, we'd all go,
bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we know that that's not possible. And so is there a chance, maybe, that she wasn't actually a virgin and people just didn't realize it?
Yeah,
and
they didn't
realize the science behind it and that's actually impossible.
Yeah. No,
that's my issue with the whole thing.
Are the odds more in favor of totally miraculous, immaculate conception, virgin birth, or she got a little dirt somewhere, you know what I mean? Like,
this is what I'm saying.
On the side and was like, how do you explain this? Because you're living at a time when you could be like, God's will, man. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. I'm a virgin.
It's not like you can go to the camera footage and be like, oh yeah, well, we caught you on hanging out by the manger a little later than you should have been.
Yeah, and you're not educated enough to know that that's impossible. Yeah. Science hasn't come, like, you probably just don't know that that's not possible. And so you're like, okay.
Yeah. Is that change anything?
Well, see, I just kind of feel like they're just these stories that were told and passed along, and that I don't know. It's just this weird thing. I believe in something greater, but I also feel like these stories, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she just wasn't a virgin, you know?
Yeah. No, totally.
I try to apply logic to it, and that doesn't seem to work very well.
Yeah. No, and we are going to sound really uneducated and stupid and
I'm just telling people where I'm at in my religious journey. That's where I'm at. I believe in something greater. I have this problem where my science brain, it's just it's hard for me to just wrap my mind around. I'm not discounting it or anything. That's just kind of where I'm at.
No, I totally get it. I often think like those stories in the Bible are no different to me than Jack and the Beanstalk. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he planted a seed and a fucking thing went all the way to the heavens, and like, okay, why not? You're turning water into wine and fish and bread and shit, and like all kinds of virgin births, and like, why wouldn't it be? But I don't know. Seems like God's was a lot more active back then and given direction. But the fact is, it's like, but
why aren't people walking on water anymore? Like, where's Jesus at?
The fact remains, and I used to do that years ago. I talk about that. Like if Jesus floated down from the heavens today, like it'd be all over Twitter and be like, nice sandals, fag. Like that. Like that's just who we are as a society. Like that. Like nobody would be like, oh my God, prove it. Yeah. The AI.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like that. That's
it's a psyop. Everyone thinks it's a psyop.
Yeah. No way would it just be like everybody agrees. Like no chance.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. There could be miracles performed around us all the time, and it'd be written off as whatever. We're too cynical. We just are. And when you get like, I know the telephone game still works in any setting, right? You can have 8 people in a row. And that's whisper them a secret.
Thing. Yeah.
So
like, was it embellished at all? Because it's storytelling, and again,
in hundreds of years.
It's all they had to entertain them back then.
Yeah. No, it's I'm kind of with you. Like,
maybe when I'm looking at Hitler's Bible in the museum on Wednesday or whatever's there, it'll I don't know, maybe something will come to me.
I don't know. I'm with you. I found myself, I had a really good talk with Drew about this last time we were in Dallas. I was like, I don't know what it is, man, but for the first time in my life, I feel, like there's got to be something more to that. Like this just doesn't, like, just being that guy that's like, I don't believe in shit. It just boom, boom, out go the lights. And he was just like, yeah, it's kind of common as you get older to start feeling your mortality. And so I'm kind of, the seed that I am is kind of falling in line with that. Like, I don't know what it is, but I hope it's the one I grew up hearing stories about. I don't want the Muhammad one. Fuck that thing. Like, if I get up there and it's that, it's like, oh, shit.
You might have a bunch of virgins waiting for you, Mike.
Yeah, it's not the translation, but I watched the whole documentary on that, and it was like, the actual translation is raisins. And I was like,
oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, they're going to get up there and get a box of Sunkist handed to them and be like, what the fuck?
I flew into the World Trade Center for this. What the hell?
Yeah. And I was like, I always thought about like, okay, your version of heaven is 70. Like, what is this? Their version of hell then?
Right.
This cannot be heaven. But then there's no respect for women in general. So I just hope it's not that. I don't know how I'd feel about the Indian one, the elephant or whatever, Ganesh.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, he's got all the arms. Ganesh, maybe? Is that his god? Is that the Indian god?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I want ours
to be know. Better. Most of my neighborhood is Indian.
Yeah, I think it's Ganesh. I want it to be ours, the one that, I happen to be born here. So I went to church right down the street and they had all the answers. And so I'm really hoping that my team was right about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really hoping
Well,
that.
and that's the other thing too. It's like, and there's all these other different religions. Like, which one wins the day?
Oh, there's hundreds of them through time, and yeah, they steal from each other. There's all kinds of stuff. The thing that I can't wrap my head around.
And then where does Scientology fit into it all, Mike?
Yeah, it doesn't. That is purely a science fiction writer that wrote more science fiction than anyone who's ever authored on this planet. Happens to be L. Ron Hubbard, who's a science fiction writer who wrote Scientology. And yeah, so that I think that one's pretty cut and dry, pretty clear. My whole thing is everybody's idea of heaven is so radically different. Like, if it's true, and this is my human pea brain, where it's like, how do you judge based on the moralities of someone in the year 200 versus the entitled slobs we are today? And what would be deemed like, he took the Lord's name in vain. I'm like, what? Like 30 times in the last hour? Like, that was a cardinal sin. And I guess it still is. Like, we are fucked. If the rules are like that strict as they were all those centuries ago, like, we're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's almost not fair to judge us by that. You know what I mean? So you'd have to have different, and believe me, what the warden finds like heavenly is going to be radically different than me. Like, my heaven would be like, okay, where are the heroin needles, morning blowjobs? Like, that would be my idea of heaven. It's like, you do you, dog. I'm going to sit on this heaven couch and watch heaven reruns of Seinfeld and do blow all night.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
That sounds like I can't do that because
I think heaven's just what you make it, Mike.
Yeah, but if I got to do a lot of walking and gardens, and
if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I mean, presumably you can fly everywhere. You've got wings.
Hopefully. But I don't know.
Burning to death.
Like, what if my idea of heaven is just like vicious, wild gangbangs?
Right. I think that might be the fun version of hell that you're thinking of.
Yeah, maybe.
I think there's like a fun version of hell where those types of things happen. And then there's like the other part of hell where like the really bad people go to.
Yeah, but wouldn't the really bad people be like the cat's ass in hell?
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you
but there's like different versions of hell in my mind. Like the really like we don't interact with each other in hell. Like, the good hell is different from the bad hell. We don't interact with each other. They're below us.
Yeah.
You know?
No, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions to all this. I don't know.
I mean, I do, there's so many things just that I've experienced, like with my dad, and just like a higher power and just a connection to him, and things that have happened that I just think to myself, there has to be something,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just what we tell ourselves to get through it. But
we used to talk about like, who's to say what's good or bad. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I broke my ankle, but then the next day the draft happened and I wasn't able to go to war, and all my buddies died.
Right.
Now I get to bang all their girlfriends and wives. Like who's to say what's good or bad? Like, that whole thing. And so you might be going like internally, and I guarantee you would have done it from the time you were 6 until, maybe even still going, what the fuck was that about, dude? Why would you take my dad from me? But
oh no, I've overcome that.
Right.
Because my life would have been so different.
Radically different. But it makes sense that a 6-year-old until you kind of made peace and figured out life, it would make total sense that from 6 to 30, every day you were cursing this reality. You know what I mean? And then you go, I turned out, and none of this stuff would have fallen in place the way it did.
100%. Yep.
And so you look at it and you go, maybe there was a greater plan that had to go this way. Like, so,
Yeah. My mom when she told us that my dad died, she said that nothing would be normal again, but that we would create our new normal. And that's what we did. We, our life changed completely that day. Like the path that my life was on, it went the other way, and it turned out good. And that's why I always get like irritated when people who have gone through trauma, oh, well, I lost my dad. And so, I turned to this and I turned to that, and, I was a delinquent because of it. And I get it. But at the same time, it's all about how you embrace it and how you look at it. And I mean, I probably wouldn't have ever moved from where we were living when my dad died. I wouldn't have met Rocky. I probably wouldn't have gone to the college I went to. I wouldn't have gotten the job I did and met the, so it's just, my life is what it's supposed to be,
Yeah. No, that's a good way to look at it. People that it's so easy to do that too. Like this event happened and it ruined everything in life. It's a, because at some point there's got to be some ownership of your own.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Like you do reach a period where it's like you do know right from wrong. You do know hard work versus not hard work. You do know, like, even in the grimmest of circumstances, like you look at Eminem. It's like, do you think Eminem would be Eminem if his dad was there and always kept the lights on? And like,
exactly.
No. And Eminem probably cursed that for a long, long time. Like, but without that, the world doesn't have Eminem. And so I find it very hard to believe that in a stable environment, growing up in West Bloomfield, Marshall Mathers, he's probably an accountant right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, interesting. But we're probably not going to solve that riddle and equation now. I wonder if quantum computing will at some point. When it's talking about like, you know what I mean? When it's like every time I hear about quantum computing, and I'm so excited because I think Joe Rogan mentioned that he's going to have an expert in that coming up soon. They're trying to schedule that, which I think will be really cool when they talk about quantum computing and like the power of every atom in the known universe would take, like the sun would burn out, or whatever the universe would go out from heat exhaustion before it can answer this math equation. And quantum computing is, doing it in minutes. It's got to be one of those like fractions math equations. Those ones are so hard. And it's like this thing's banging that shit out immediately. It's like, boom, I know the answer. So maybe, and the philosophers are like, it must be, this quantum computing stuff must be using like other dimensions, because there's no way it could be answering some of these like fractions math questions that are super hard and stuff. And so it's like, there's other dimensions we're not fucking aware of that this thing is using. And it's like, dude, is it possible it could answer like, no, you guys are all off on this Big Bang thing. Here's how that happened.
Right.
I mean, could we be like a handful of years away from them going, oh, dude, you guys are so off base.
Yeah.
Really? Virgin birth? Yeah. Really? That's what we were going with?
Right.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And as soon as you're done in this universe, you head right over to the one next door.
Yeah.
And you
guys got kind of close with the Matrix thing, but it's just a loop. Yeah. You guys were kind of tipping around and fooling around with it when the Matrix movie came out, but not really that close. Yeah.
Mike,
anyway,
this is a very big week for me.
Why? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Multiple reasons.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The key one, though, being tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Opening statements, baby, for the Karen Reed retrial. I am so freaking excited. This is so exciting.
Hey, Mike, my new favorite game is to try and figure out how Lady Isis is going to fit Karen Reed into whatever story you bring up.
Shut it.
Dear Lady Isis, you said you should do a show breaking down the Karen Reed trial. You mean your normal show? Holy shit. The only difference between doing a show breaking down Karen Reed and your normal show is if you had Turtle Boy as a guest. Yeah, people have noticed. Some people have noticed.
You know what, guys?
She can't help
just
it.
what you get. I literally can't. This is a big deal. And I'll tell you, if she gets found guilty, I'm gonna be devastated.
Oh, you are. You're gonna need time off for real.
I will. Do I put that into you, or how does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll serve as HR management.
So
I don't know what I am.
They're like a system, or
Yeah. It's
you'll get that to me later.
I'll get it to you. Yeah, there's some forms you
Your
need to
written
fill out.
policy.
Yeah. I'll get you the forms you can fill out and submit. So go ahead.
So opening statements are happening tomorrow, which should be exciting. I can't wait to see. They're switching it up this time. Last time they started with the local Boston attorney that's representing Karen. He opened and he had a fabulous opening statement. This time they're starting with the out-of-state guy, and I'm assuming their closing will be with the in-state attorney. But the guy who represented Kevin Spacey is the one who will do the opening statement for Karen Reed. And
like the actor Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, he represented him in that case that he got acquitted from.
Yep.
So yeah,
do you think there's any chance that you can be impartial and be like, I got to give it up for the prosecutors today. They kicked our ass.
Well, I don't think that's ever going to happen. I will be able to say that because I'll compare him to what they did last time. And I think I'll be able to acknowledge that they're doing a better job, or this was hard to, I mean, the guy last time was just such a fucking drag. He was so tough to listen to. So it has to be better just by default. But so I think I'll be able to be objective in that. But they're short of some confession from her. I don't think you're going to be able to.
What would you do if she was like, I can't take this anymore. I totally ran that cocksucker over. I tried to frame the Boston PD.
Yeah. But you know what? So they want to show his arm. The defense wants to show just one picture during their opening statement. They want to show the picture of his arm, those injuries. And I'm going to pull it up really.
Go ahead. Quick. That's interesting though, because I saw you post, I don't know if it was Facebook or Twitter. You posted this picture probably, and you were like, dog bites or glass from a shattered taillight. And people did not overwhelmingly jump on, oh yeah, dog bite. I know, what did you think? Did that change any thought you had?
No.
See, that looks blurry to me, so I don't. See, that sort of looks like someone with a knife, like filleting.
That's not an option, though.
I know, but why couldn't that have been an option? Like if they got into a fight downstairs drunk, and one of the 17-year-old pulled out a pocket knife.
Look at those two right there, and that one right there. Tell me that's not teeth. A dog going like this, 2 teeth right there, and then they've got this guy right here. He's coming in. He's gonna be and he's gonna tell like why. And then right here, this is like his jaw, the dog's jaw right here.
Is that bruising like from the?
Yeah, and these are his only injuries.
See,
aside from bruised knuckles and the gash in his head.
I know you want to pin this all on the Roops. I know you want to because he can't defend himself. What kind of Roops do they say did this? Is this like a German Shepherd? Is it like a cop
German
dog?
Shepherd. Yeah.
German Shepherd. I would think a German Shepherd, it would be really hard for it to have it let go. And a German Shepherd would do a lot of this and really do substantial, like almost more than that. That looks so clean.
Well, but Mike, he had a sweatshirt on. I mean, and so the experts can explain it. When they bite you through clothing, they can't get a grip on you. And so they're constantly rebiting to try and attach to you because they're biting through your clothes. So it's not like the dog wasn't biting his bare skin. He had and his sweatshirt has all these puncture holes in it. And like the only option from the Commonwealth's point of view is that came from her tail light. If you don't think that came from her tail light, then you have to find her not guilty because that's the only option they're putting forward.
I'd have to listen to experts on that about those dog bites. Dogs bite through clothes all the time. especially if there was a command, when you see training dogs, German Shepherds. I don't know
They
enough
also
about
bite
that.
differently, Mike. They bite differently. Police
Sure.
dogs and non-police dogs bite differently.
That doesn't surprise me in the least. I would need to watch like real breakdown from people that train those animals and police officers that you would think that'd be an easy one to settle. What I do know though, looking at that, there's no chance that's from getting smacked with a car taillight. That none of that looks like a tail, unless the taillight just had knives sticking out of it.
Right.
All over and did that. Like
the tail light is polycarbonate. It's not the tail light's not glass. It's polycarbonate. Like it's not it's not going to make those marks. It's just
I don't care how it identifies, Amy. So I don't know what polycarbonate means.
If you're
interested, as opposed to what? Glass or plastic?
Yeah, like glass.
It's glass. That's what polycarbonate.
It's not glass. It's not glass.
So what is that? Like a synthetic?
Yeah, it's like a polycarbonate plastic, I think.
Okay.
If you're interested, Mike, there is a video of a dog expert who the defense ended up hiring and is going to be testifying at the trial, but he has a YouTube channel and he went over this and he did demonstrations and he trains dogs, police dogs, and he's a cop in Miami. Okay. And he's worked with dogs like his whole life, and he has like arms to show you that they use in those training sessions, and you see the marks on the arms and they look exactly like John's arm. Like exactly.
Really?
Yeah. I'll send it to you. And I'll also let you know when the experts for both sides are going to testify in the trial.
So what is your plan then because you're going to be on flight tomorrow?
Oh, I'll just live stream it.
On the flight?
Yeah. I've got to connect to the internet anyway and work on my expense report because I'm getting threatening messages from my company credit card person because I'm really delinquent on my expense reports. So that's what I'm going to be doing on the plane. Expense reports and listening to the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, I told you we would do a quick hour and then get out of here. So you go watch the Pistons game, and I want to watch it too. So I'll do a couple emails and we'll get out of here. I'm sorry, everybody, for the early show. We'll do a member show when we get back. But you can watch us on Normal World on YouTube on Wednesday. Amy and I will be on Wednesday. Should be.
I'm going to get my hair and makeup done.
You're getting it did.
So tune in if only for that.
And that'll be so fun. I'm excited to do dinner with Matt McClowry tomorrow night and you, Ames. And Wednesday night we'll do something after the show. And then so hopefully we can compile some stories while we're there.
Hopefully we see something fun at the airport.
Yeah. We got to go to that one place. I think it's Terminal D where the chick got naked and was running around. We're going to reenact that. You were going to play her and I'll play the guy filming.
Was that what we were going to do?
Yeah, that's what we were going to do. I took a vote. I took a poll and the listeners were overwhelmingly in support of that. Cause I offered, I was like, I could play the girl and have Amy be the one that films. And they were like, no.
Did you send me that? Did you send that to me? Did you send me that poll? Because I feel like I didn't vote in it.
I'm sure I did. It's probably in check your your.
Is it with my HR forms?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. But it was overwhelming. It was like 98-2.
Oh,
so I think Garrett was the 2. So, Garrett and 3G were the 2.
Yeah.
So it's somewhere in there. But anyways, let's do some.
You didn't even comment on my shirt, Mike.
I love your shirt. I know it looks great. It is. I don't even have one of those. I have one with it's a black shirt. She just keeps pulling titties out. It's like, yeah, no one's paying attention to the fucking logo on there. No, that's great. I do like that.
Thank you.
It's a chick shirt.
Yeah.
All right. Josh took issue with you. He thinks you came out of the gate hot.
About what?
Well, he says, I don't know why my email regarding this was read with such disdain.
I didn't read it.
I wasn't attacking Amy at all. The point is that welfare programs like SNAP presuppose that the individual who utilizes the program has a low and limited income. If we remove some of the junk food from the program, The available funds to purchase them should therefore be lower. So they can still purchase it, but instead of a case of Coke with Snap, they buy less with their own money. It would allow them to make better choices both in regards to their health and their finances, in hopes of allowing them at one point to remove themselves from the program, or we can allow them to buy whatever they choose and continue to support the generational welfare system. I got to be honest, that went right over my head.
Those are our only two options, huh?
What is he saying there?
I don't really know.
If we remove some of the junk food from the program, the available funds to purchase them should therefore be lower. Why would you want to lower the funds? You want them to have the same amount of money so that they can buy enough groceries.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to take their money away that they're spending on junk food.
Yeah, you're talking about like $160 a month. You're not talking about $1,000.
And that was kind of my point was, I just feel like there's bigger fish to fry in terms of, cutting down on waste. And I don't know that this is it, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Sorry, Josh.
I get that. But if you have $160 and the hope is they go buy some lunch meat and some bread and some milk and some eggs and you make meals and you get people eating a better, more balanced diet on some level versus going and buying 4 cases of Coke and candy and garbage, and then that's what the kid eats. The kid doesn't really have a choice. And so it's like, do you want to get involved with making decisions that puts pressure on people? My guess is you're talking about people who are going to game this system no matter what roadblocks you put in play. And to your point, I think you're kind of right that what was your point you just made? Shit.
I'm always right.
Train of thought.
That there's bigger fish to fry.
That there's bigger fish. Thank you. That when you're talking about 160, but I know it's a lot of people and I know that comes out to billions of dollars, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like, we can lead the horse to water, but we can't make retards make good decisions for food,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We can put them in a position to not starve, and that it kind of ends there with us. So if you try to put restrictions on it, they're going to sell those and buy whatever they want anyway. So I don't know. But nobody was taking issue with you, Josh. I appreciate the email.
No,
really
never,
well
Josh.
thought out.
Never.
And
just for the record, I'm just generally, I come in hot on things. So don't take it personally.
Noticed
that. That's just me.
I get it. It's part of what I like about you. So don't ever change. Jim says, welfare food choice. They need to run all these welfare programs through the churches like they did in the old days before government took it over and it became an entitlement. All right, let's hear them out. It made it more painful to bring yourself and your situation to the pastor, deacon, or congregation and explain yourself and receive some wisdom from the Bible to turn your situation around and made it rewarding to those who helped you to better your life with God's unlimited mercy and grace. You would also get a lesson from the Bible that if you don't work, you don't eat unless you're disabled. But you would get special personal help from the congregation and not some cold bureaucratic government agency that sees you just as a number or statistic. He's not wrong there. That would turn into a colossal fight. There are so many people that, the church right now is just under attack. Frank's gone, so maybe that'll help. He was like, maybe they got a point. Maybe we should check out Muhammad and see what he's all about. Like Pope was playing for different teams, but what's in theory, I agree with you, Jim. It does seem like there's more community-based. I know when we dealt with the homeless, right? South Oakland shelter, so much of what they did was run through the churches, local churches. Like it was so important and critical for the local community churches' involvement in all aspects of it. So it's probably not a bad idea. I know there are so many people who they're either angry with themselves, they don't want to believe, or they're so miserable and hateful that they resent everybody that even thinks there could be a God. Like that is a real thing going on. You see it with the, liberal women these days tend to be really angry with God. And so if you put them in that position and forced them to take in Bible passages, I don't think that would go over well. But, for what it is, for what it's worth. Dear Lady Isis, I think that's you.
Sweet.
If you were a freshman in high school when the Parkland shooting happened, you would be ending your third year of college at Florida State now. Go smoke another joint.
Okay. No, that's fair. I literally asked that question because
what is that in reference to? What did you say? How did you say something that got that response?
Because they said that Parkland survivors were at Florida State and survived that shooting as well. And I was trying to do the math. Like, Parkland was a while ago. I guess I wasn't thinking of the freshmen, though. I was more thinking of the upperclassmen. So
yeah,
touche. I stand corrected.
Yeah,
Thank you for correcting me.
That led us to saying that kids that were at Oxford shooting were also at Michigan State.
At Michigan State. Yep.
Okay, now it's making sense. Let's see. Dear Mike and Nurse Ratch, snatch it. Them slits in space are astronauts, like I'm a firefighter when I put my cigar out in an ashtray.
Yeah.
NFL Bob. Yeah, he's not wrong. All right, let's do one more and we'll get out of here. Shooting at the Houthis, cult leader. I heard you speaking about attacking the Houthis and your disdain for it. I don't really have disdain for it. I just understand the arguments. You are right. The Houthis impact the EU mostly. However, this isn't about the Houthis. It's about gaining European support for a much larger fight to come, the Panama Canal. We built it. We stupidly handed its control over the Panamanians. Its control would significantly diminish shipping costs, and the Panamanians have been, at the behest of their new overlords, the Chinese, charging American shipping an astronomical amount to bring our ships through. The Panamanians have cozied up to the Chinese, who have been for a very long time controlling the Panama Canal in a less than clandestine fashion. We need help to fight the Chinese in this. I suspect we are trying to gain favor with the EU so they back us in the conflict. That's from Josh. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they're pirates, so
yeah,
bombing
totally.
Pirates would be fun, I think.
Totally would be fun. I feel like there's a million ways you could get the EU support if you really wanted to. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe the EU's like, that's what we want. We want you to take down the Houthis.
Yeah, they're fucking with our shipping lanes.
Yeah. Get those pirates out. Get Jack Sparrow out of here.
Yeah, get Jack Sparrow out of here immediately. No, we don't want to cease fire. Just do your remote control thing and throw some arrows at them.
Yeah.
It's funny to watch them blows up. Yeah, I don't really have a dog in the fight. I'm just saying it is what it is. All right, Ames, let's get out of here. I can't wait to land in Dallas and hook up with you tomorrow.
I will see you then.
It's awesome. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, everybody. Have a great, for sure. Have a great few days without us. Check us out on Normal World as soon as that episode drops. I believe it'll come out sometime Wednesday night or maybe Thursday morning, whatever they do. But look for Aim and I on there, and we will see you at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Go Pistons,
Go Pistons.
too. Bye, everybody. Bye.